Hello everyone, welcome back. This is a live recording of a 50-minute full body flow. So find a little bit of space to move and let's get started. Okay, so I'm not going to use any props today, and we're going to start in a nice comfy seat. So you can go ahead and close your eyes if you'd like. Maybe rest your hands on your knees or on your lap. And let's just take a slow, deep breath in, lengthening through the spine. Let that breath go. And do it again. A nice, slow inhale. And let it go. And then one more time, a deep breath in, and maybe sit even taller. And let it go. And then you might just keep your eyes closed. We're gonna move our hands just to the ground beside us. So lightly rest your fingertips, lightly even push into the fingertip. Keep your spine nice and long. Let your shoulders fall away from your ears and let your elbows kind of bend. That you're relaxing through your arms, even if you're pushing slightly into your fingertips. Now with an inhale, we're going to start to reach our right arm out to the side. Out to the side, up above us, and maybe all the way over. You might walk the left hand further away and then push into the fingertips, and then maybe take the bend out of that left elbow. So push into the ground and reach and stretch with your right arm. Feel the length through the side of your body, and maybe let your chin tip down towards your left shoulder. Maybe reach a little bit more with the right arm. Maybe push into the left fingertips a touch more too. And then let a big inhale lift you all the way back up. So you're sitting tall. You're just going to rest both hands on the ground again, the fingertips, and just re-lengthen through your spine. Soften the shoulders, a light press into the fingertips, and bend the elbow. Take a breath, just sitting still. And then use a bigger inhale to reach the left arm out, up, over as far as you want to go, but maybe the right hand will move away and you'll push into it. Taking the bend out of that elbow, reach a little bit more. Lean as far to the side as feels good. So pushing into the ground and then reaching up and over. Some effort. You might be taking your chin again to tip down towards that bottom shoulder. And maybe reaching just a little bit more. Get that nice big side stretch. And use an inhale to find your way back up. Sitting tall again, both hands, fingertips to the ground. Reset, long spine, soft shoulder. And then just take a moment to be still. Soften your forehead and your jaw. Let go of your day so far. And take another breath. We're going to keep our hands on the ground, but we're going to bring them behind us a little bit. So maybe it's just the fingertips. Bring your hands behind you. Take a little bit of a lean back, just a little bit of a lean back as you lift your chest and kind of squeeze the shoulder blades together. Your hands can be as close to one another behind you as you would like, but just lift your chest and maybe your chin. Try to pull the shoulders back. Push into the fingertips. Stay for just an inhale. And then as you exhale, you can relax. Let the chest fall, the chin. You can bring your hands back to the knees or your lap. You could take a shoulder roll. You could even start to open up your eyes. Maybe even wiggle the fingers a little bit. But we're going to be making our way into tabletop. So you can come all the way over and onto your hands and knees. Give your hips a little bit of a sway side to side. And then take an inhale to drop your belly down. Lift your chest, maybe your chin. Turn your elbow creases to face forwards a little bit more. Hold it here for another inhale. And as you exhale, round your spine, lift your belly button up, push into your hands, try to open up between the shoulder blades, try to spread your hands apart. Then you pull your belly button up and tuck your chin, but feel your shoulders, your back. Take an inhale to drop down. Lift the chest, the chin, elbow creases. Turn them to face forwards a touch more. Some effort here. Take another inhale and an exhale. Even more effort as you try to open up between the shoulder blades. Pushing into the hands, trying to pull the hands apart a little bit, even though they're not moving. Tuck your chin. Round your spine. Nice job, you guys. Use an inhale to come back to a long, flat back. Maybe give your hips a gentle sway, maybe even the shoulders as well. And then tuck your toes and lift your knees up into downward facing dog. You might pedal your feet a few times. Push into the hand. Slow, deep breath in and out. Another slow inhale and exhale. And then use an inhale. Let's start to look forwards as you exhale. You can walk all the way up to the top of your mat. And once you get there, use an inhale to lift halfway up. As you exhale, folding forwards. Take an inhale to come all the way up to standing. Reach up. Exhale, lower your arms down. A shoulder roll if you want one. Big inhale to reach up and exhale to fold forwards. Take an inhale to lift halfway. Exhale as you fold. Inhale, come all the way up, reaching up. Exhale, lowering your arms down. Shoulder roll if you want one. Inhale to reach up again. Exhale to fold. Inhale, take your half lift. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, come all the way up. Reach up. Exhale, lower your arms down to your sides. We're going to stay standing. You can either float the left heel and keep the ball of the foot on the ground, or you can bring those toes to maybe point behind you. Maybe a point of the foot, so kind of pointing the toes behind you. Finding a little bit of balance, and then you're just going to switch sides. So bring the left foot down. Maybe the right heel will pop up. Maybe the foot will float, trying to point those toes back behind you. Balance. A little wake up of the ankle if you're pointing those toes. Just dropping the foot back down though. Maybe add a little shoulder roll. And then take an inhale to reach up. As you exhale, fold down. Inhale to lift halfway up. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, come all the way up. Reach up. Exhale, lower your arms. Skip the shoulder roll. Take another inhale to reach up. Exhale to fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, all the way up, reaching up. And exhale to lower your arms to your sides. Stay standing. And once again, you can either lift the left heel or the foot, pointing the toes back behind you, or you could try to grab your foot, maybe trying to encourage the heel towards the glute, maybe the toes pointing up to whatever's above you. And then just letting that left foot come back down and switching sides. Right heel can lift. Maybe the whole foot, point the toes behind you. Maybe you're reaching back for the foot. Get a little extra of a quad stretch, but balance. And then letting your foot find the ground again. Take a shoulder roll if you want one. And inhale to reach up. Exhale as you fold forwards. Inhale into a half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up, reaching up. And exhale to lower your arms down. Skip the shoulder roll. Take just another inhale to reach up. And exhale to fold forwards. Inhale, half lift. As you exhale, fold. Come on down. Plant your hands and take your feet back and into downward facing dog. So just a big inhale here. And as you exhale, we're going to bring our knees down to our tabletop. So take a second to set up your tabletop. We're going to move our left leg. So send your foot back behind you to start. Push into the ball of the foot. Tuck the toes under. Feel your calf, your ankle. Okay, we're going to switch sides a few times here. So just pushing into the ball of that left foot. And then we're going to bring the left knee in and change to the right. Right leg back. Push into the ball of the foot. Breathe. Now bringing that right knee back in. So you're in your tabletop again. Left leg going back. You could rest on the top of the toes. It's pretty light, maybe. Or maybe it's actually touching the ground, but maybe waking up the ankle to point the toes, waking up the leg, and you might be hovering just slightly or not. But bring that left leg back in and send the right leg out. Option to point the toes. Maybe take a little bob of that foot. Make the leg as long as it can be. Okay, we're going to bring our right knee back in. So we're just in tabletop again. Maybe a gentle shake of the hips. Okay, it's just going to get a touch weird. We're going to stay on both of our knees, but we're going to try to point those left toes a little bit more behind us. Point, 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 and see if the heel wants to lift towards your hip with a point of the toes and pretty much just thinking about it and seeing what happens. And then you're just going to gently place that foot back down, relax the ankle, start to point the right toes back behind you, and maybe the foot will float a little bit. Maybe it won't. Just see how close you can get to that glute with the squeeze, and then just bringing your foot back down. Relax your ankles just in your tabletop, but maybe take a gentle sway. We're going to tuck our toes under now, though, both of the feet, and lift up and into our downward facing dog. Take a moment to maybe pedal the feet a few times. Push into the hand. Slow, deep breath in, slow, deep breath out. Now use an inhale to look forwards. As you exhale, walk your feet to the top of your mat. Once you get there, take an inhale for a half lift. As you exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Reach up. Exhale, lower your arms down. Shoulder roll this time if you want one. Inhale to reach up again and exhale to fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, folding forwards. Now we're going to plant our hands again. Take the feet back into our downward facing dog. So just bring the hands, shoulder width apart, the feet hip width apart for sure. Okay, we're just going to pay a little bit more attention to our left foot. You might lift it a little bit and kind of point the toes, and maybe you're resting on just the top of the toes. Now be mindful of the right leg. Keep that knee just a little soft, maybe a little bit of a bend. Keep pushing into the hands. We're just trying to get lighter through that left foot. And maybe a little point to the toes helps that leg feel a little bit lighter. But you can lift that foot up as high as you want to. Three-legged dog, just maybe with a pointed foot, pointed toes, pushing into the hands. And then bring that left foot down and just switch sides. So maybe our feet are hip width apart still. Left foot's going to stay down. Maybe start to just point the right foot. Wake up that ankle a little. Try to rest on the top of the big toe. Maybe a little bob of that foot. Soft left knee this time. And that foot can lift higher and higher and higher if you want it to, if it wants to, with a nice point of the toes. And then slowly bringing that right foot back down to your downward dog. Take a big inhale and exhale. Lower your knees down and into tabletop. Maybe flip to the top of the feet. Maybe give the hips a gentle sway side to side. We are going to be sliding our left knee forwards. Just trying to bring our heel and our glute together. So slide the left knee forwards, and then maybe you'll scooch your right knee back a little, trying to bring the glute and the heel together as close as they can get. You can stay lifted up on the hands, lifted through the chest. You could take a little tip forwards here. We're not here very long. But just see how close can you get your glute and your heel together. And if you did tip forwards, you gotta climb back up onto your hands. Gonna scooch the back knee in, the front knee back, but find your tabletop. Take a little sway if you'd like, and switch sides. Right knee slides forwards, left maybe back a little bit. Try to sit on your heel. Maybe you're staying lifted. Maybe you're tipping. Climbing back up onto your hands if you did lean down. Finding your tabletop again, and maybe taking a sway through the hips. You can stay in your tabletop here, or you can try and sit back on the heels for a moment. Again, just kind of trying to bring the hips, the glutes, and the heels together as best they can. Long spine. We are bringing our hands back down to the ground though. So you're just coming right back up and into tabletop. And then that left foot, it's just going to start to lift if it wants to lift, pointing the toes and just trying to bring the heel towards the glute with a squeeze that hamstring, point of the toes. Let that foot come down and switch. Point those right toes. Squeeze that hamstring. Lift the heel towards the glute. Let that right foot come back down. Relax your ankles. Tuck your toes and lift into your downward facing dog. Take a moment to maybe pedal the feet a few times. Take a nice big inhale to look forward. And exhale, walk on up to the top of your mat. Once you get there, let an inhale lift you up halfway. And exhale to fold forwards. Inhale, Come all the way up to standing, reaching up. Exhale, lower your arms to your sides. Okay, we're gonna stay standing again. The left heel, it can lift. You can point your toes behind you. You can try to hold the foot, hugging the heel towards the glute. If you're hugging the heel towards the glute, try to come back to pointing the toes behind you. So don't let the foot just fall over to the ground maybe. Try to wake it up, point those toes back behind you. Now, if you have your foot lifted, bring the ball of the foot down so the heel is just floating. And then maybe we can step forwards with our left foot, pointing the toes, kind of resting on maybe it's all the toes, maybe it's just the big one. Maybe that foot's kind of bobbing to get a little bit lighter. Maybe you even hover the foot, fire up that quad. Point the toes, lift that foot as high as it will lift. Now, if you're floating your foot, bring it back down towards the ground. Slide that foot back in so it's just the heel that's lifted. You're on the ball of that foot, and then the heel can come down and you can shake your legs and switch sides. Right foot. Heel can lift and you can stay here the whole time, or you can point those toes behind you. Stay here or hold the foot, reach for the foot. Hug the heel towards the glutes. As you let your foot come back down, start to wake up the leg, point those toes back behind you to come back the way we came. No time to overthink everything. Bring the ball of the foot back down so maybe the heel is still lifted. Maybe take a step forward, starting to point the toes. Wake up the ankle again. The toes might not leave the ground. They might start to kind of bob though. Bob up and down, and then maybe they're floating. Pointing those toes, making that leg just as strong, straight as it can be. Lifting that foot as high as it will lift. Squeezing everything. Let your foot come back down. And then slide it back in so it's just the heel that's lifted again. And then drop the heel down and give your legs a nice little shake. Nice job, you guys. Roll your shoulders back. Take an inhale to reach up. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale into a half lift. As you exhale, fold down. Plant your hands and step back all the way into downward facing dog. Take a nice big inhale. As you exhale, our knees are going to come down to our tabletop, but we're going to make our way into child's pose. So you can bring the knees out wide if you'd like, sending the hips back towards the heels. You can keep your knees closer together too, but we're still going to be tipping forward, so you can decide how wide or how close you want your knees to be. Start to lean forwards though, maybe using your arms as a pillow or the ground. But try to rest your forehead on something. Just take a moment here to scan your body, your toes, your ankle, all the way up to the crown of your head. So feel free to stay a little bit longer. If you are ready to move, we're going to make our way back into tabletop first. Just onto our hands and knees. Maybe we'll give our hips a sway, side to side. And then we're going to bring our knees over towards the left side of our mat so we can drop the right hip down and we're just on our right side. You can come down onto your forearm or you can lay all the way down onto your side. We're just going to be reaching for the left foot, hugging the heel towards the glute. You can keep your knees nice and bent in front of you. You can send your legs out longer down the bottom of your mat, maybe a little bit of balance here on the side, but hugging the heel towards the glute. Now you can stay on your side, or we can turn onto our tummies. I'm just going to let go of my foot to come onto my belly. And then maybe grab it again, hugging the heel towards the glute. Now you can stay relaxed on your belly, or maybe you are up on that right forearm or the left forearm. Hugging the heel towards the glute. You're lifted up onto a forearm and you're on your belly. Give the glutes a little squeeze. Squeeze your back. Use your back to help hold the chest up a little bit. Now we are just going to be letting our leg go. So come out of your quad stretch, whether you're on your side still or on your belly. Just take a second. We are going to be coming back into tabletop. So if you need to tip over, maybe back to our right side, maybe bend the knees and just try to come back the way we came, lifting up and into your tabletop. Give the hips a gentle sway side to side if you'd like. And then our knees will be scooching over towards the right. Drop the left hip down. Maybe you come onto your forearm or lay all the way down on your side as you start to reach back for the right foot. Maybe the knees stay bent. Maybe you send things a little longer, a little straighter. And then feel free to stay here on your side, or if you want to tip onto your belly gracefully. You might end up on your forearm. You might lay flat on your belly. And just hugging the heel towards the glute, wherever you happen to be. Just squeeze your glutes here back if you are on your belly and on your forearm. Support your low back. So as we let our leg go, you might be on your side, you might be on your belly, and you might be coming back the way that we came. Onto the left side, bending the knees, and then lifting all the way up and into tabletop again, where you can give the knees a little, or the hips a little sway. And we are going to sit down. We can bring our legs in front of us. Maybe start with a hug of your knees to your chest. And a rock side to side. And then our left leg can go long. To start, right foot is maybe crossing over top. You can keep your left leg long or you can bend it, but lengthen through the spine. Sit nice and tall. We're going to be twisting, turning the chest towards the right. So maybe using the left arm to hug the knee. Then take your right hand to the ground behind you. Push into the fingertips. Find your twist. Stay for just another breath. And then use an inhale to turn yourself to face forwards. Feel free to keep going. Take your counter twist. And then find your way back so that you're facing forwards. You can uncross the legs. Maybe give the knees a hug or a squeeze again. And then our right leg can go long, left over top. Maybe the right leg will bend. Hold your knee, lengthen your spine, and then taking your twist towards the left. So maybe a big hug of the knee with the right arm, and then that left hand, if you can bring it behind you a little bit, push into it. Take just one more breath. And then use an inhale to turn back. Maybe keep on going. And then find your way back so that you're facing forwards and you can uncross the legs, give them a hug or a squeeze. And then let's try to keep hugging the knees, kind of leaning forwards a little bit as maybe we walk the feet further away from us. So maybe a little scooch of the toes, a little tip forwards. If it feels easier to hug the back of the legs, the top of the legs, just trying to lean forwards a little bit. You could even scooch the hips back if that's easier than moving your feet away. But just see how low you can go. Leaning forwards as you start to lengthen the legs a little bit more. And if you're not happy with where you are, just start to reset. Lengthen your spine. Maybe you'll send your legs longer, point your toes up. You can stay tall or you can fold forward. Take just another breath. You're folding. Let an inhale bring you back up. Maybe you'll start to bring your knees back to your chest for another hug or squeeze. Okay, now we're gonna lean back a little bit. So just bring some weight into the hands. Okay, we're going to start. I'm not laughing. We're going to start with a lift of the chest, a little squeeze of the shoulder blades together, a little lift of the chin. Pull the shoulders back. Relax your forehead. Take just another inhale. And relax a little bit as you exhale. You can do the same thing, just lift the chest, the chin a little bit. We can lift our hips this time too. Okay, and then maybe the left heel will lift and you come onto the ball of that foot. Maybe you quickly change to the top of the toes. And then maybe you see if your hips can come back down towards the ground or maybe kind of towards the heel. And then you're just going to start to lift the hips again to a place where maybe you can plant the left foot and lift your hips just a little more. And then you're going to come right back down and relax a little bit. And then we're just going to do that one more time. Maybe it's just a nice lift of the chest, the chin. Maybe the hips lift too, maybe they don't. Maybe the right heel lifts as well. Maybe you try to rest on the top of the toes, and then maybe you try to bring the glute towards the heel. Nice big stretch for that foot. Lift the hips up so that you can plant the foot back down. Lift your hips to touch more, and then bring them down and lean forwards and give your knees another hug or squeeze and let go of those toes. We're gonna lay down on our backs. And you might continue to hug your knees to your chest or leave your feet on the ground. If you're hugging your knees to your chest, you could widen them. Maybe leaving the big toes lightly touching and just see how wide the knees want to go. Maybe the big toes don't want to stay together. You could bring some space between them. Just feel your back against the ground. If your feet are floating, relax your ankles, relax your toes. Let them just hang, float. And if you did bring your knees wide, you can help them come back together. Maybe give them a squeeze or a sway. And we will be letting our knees tip over to the left side for our twist. Should you want to cross your legs, you can. But maybe reaching your arms wider. Way down the shoulder. Use an inhale to bring our legs back up out of the twist. You can take a moment before switching sides, or you can start to make your way there. Maybe you're crossing your legs again. And letting an inhale help you come out of your twist. And maybe you'll hug your knees back to the chest or leave your feet on the ground. Maybe you'll let your knees come wide again. Big toes might stay together or open slightly. And just letting the feet find each other again as well as the knees. Maybe take just one more hug of your knees to your chest, maybe an extra rock or sway side to side. If you do still have your feet lifted, you can bring them back down. And you might slide your legs out long. Bring your feet wide. Same with your arms. Find your Shavasana. Let your entire body relax. You can slowly start to wiggle your fingers, your toes. Maybe you'll be reaching your arms above your head to take a nice stretch. Slowly bend your knees one leg at a time. And then roll over to one side. Find your way up to a comfy seat when you're ready. Oh, and maybe bringing your hands together. Awesome practice, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. Have a great rest of the day, and we will see you guys very soon. Namaste.